Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big topics by going straight to the source. Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible frontiers in tech, artificial intelligence in medicine. So, let's just start with a number that kind of changes everything. 5 years. What if I told you that AI can now spot the earliest signs of some cancers up to 5 years? Yeah, 5 years before human doctor can even see them? I know what you're thinking. That sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But this isn't science fiction. This is a revolution in how we diagnose diseases that's happening right now. So, how on earth is it even possible? Well, today, we're basically going to follow the trail with our AI medical detective. We're going to explore how it finds these tiny, invisible clues to diseases, catching them when they're at their most treatable stage. Okay, first things first. To really get what's happening here, we need to look at the core technology that lets AI see what our human eyes just can't. The secret sauce here is a process called deep learning. Now, imagine teaching a computer to become a world-class expert. But instead of giving it a bunch of rules, you just show it millions of examples. Over time, it actually teaches itself to recognize patterns that are so subtle, they're practically invisible to us. It really boils down to a 3-step process. First, you feed the AI a massive amount of data. We're talking millions of medical scans. Then, the AI learns to spot these microscopic irregularities, these tiny little changes that could signal a disease. And finally, it takes all that knowledge and applies it to diagnose new cases with just unbelievable speed and accuracy. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this technology actually hold up in the real world, in a busy hospital? Let's look at some examples that are literally saving lives as we speak. Let's start with a big one, Google's DeepMind AI. Just by analyzing a single high-res scan of the back of your eye, it can find the telltale signs of over 50 different diseases, everything from glaucoma to damage from diabetes. And get this is where it gets absolutely wild. In clinical trials, the AI wasn't just as good as human experts. It was actually better. It hit a 94% accuracy rate, which means it outperformed even world-renowned specialists. And this amazing power isn't just staying locked up in hospitals, it's moving right into our hands. Researchers at Stanford trained an AI to identify skin cancer with the same accuracy as a top dermatologist. And it does it using nothing more than a photo from a smartphone. I mean, just imagine putting that life-saving tool in everyone's pocket. And we're not just talking about images either. An AI from IBM can actually predict the onset of Alzheimer's with 71% accuracy. And it doesn't do it from a brain scan. It does it just by analyzing the subtle ways a person's language patterns change in their writing, changes that happen years before any clinical symptoms show up. And this right here is why this all matters so much. Catching a disease in its earliest stages is the single most important factor in whether or not treatment will be successful. AI is making that possible on a scale we have just never seen before. And we're already seeing this happen. At Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, one AI system has already slashed diagnostic errors by a staggering 85%. Oh, and it also cut down the time it takes to get a diagnosis from weeks to just a few hours. That kind of speed is an absolute game changer, especially in parts of the world that don't have enough specialists. These AI platforms can analyze a chest X-ray in under a minute, bringing top-tier diagnostic tools to developing countries and really remote areas. Okay, but let's be real. A revolution this big doesn't just happen overnight. It's not all smooth sailing. And like any powerful new technology, there are some pretty significant hurdles we have to get over before AI diagnosis becomes a normal part of healthcare. The biggest challenges really start with the data itself. These systems need huge, high-quality data sets to learn from. And if that data isn't diverse enough, well, the AI's accuracy can actually drop for certain groups of people. Then you've got the huge questions around patient privacy, and of course the long, complicated process of getting these tools approved by regulators to make sure they're safe. Just to put that into perspective, right now the FDA has only approved about 300 AI-powered medical devices. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but that number is growing exponentially every single year as this tech keeps proving itself. So yeah, there are challenges, but despite them, there's just no doubt that we are standing on the brink of a complete transformation in how we approach medicine and our own health. And this really gets to the most important takeaway of all. The goal here isn't to replace doctors, not at all. It's to make them better, to augment their abilities and create this incredible human-AI partnership that combines our intuition with the machine's raw power to analyze data. What we're really talking about is a fundamental shift in medicine itself. We're moving away from a reactive model, where we wait to treat sickness, and we're moving toward a future that is truly preventive. A future where we can catch and stop diseases before we even feel the first symptom. And all of this leaves us with one final thought-provoking question for all of us to think about. As this technology becomes more and more common in our lives, would you trust an AI with your diagnosis? It's something we're all going to have to consider very, very soon.